What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a very happy St. Patrick's Day. It is Friday night, so if you're out and about, I'm sure you're not watching this live, but if you do watch it later, I appreciate you taking the time. Hope you're all having yourselves a great night. A little after 9:30 here, but we're live. Fan Friday, taking all of your questions, and I got a few from the mailbag here, and look, going to answer them. A couple good questions here. And, whatever you guys have on your mind, whether it be about, what's going on in free agency, certain players, whatever it is, Garnder-Johnson, I know I've got a running bet, how many times the same thing is said about that. But look, I will reiterate it as many times as I can. We'll talk about that, everything we possibly can under the sun here. So let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate each and every one of you. But look, whatever's on your mind, let me hear it. Earlier today, we talked about all of the free agents available on offense. Tomorrow, I'm going to drop the defense. And look, there is quite an amount of good players left. And, you hear all kinds of chaos, but the Eagles are doing well so far. They're adding the places they need to. And I understand there's a lot of fear because of Garnder-Johnson. But even if he doesn't, there are other options. You saw today Kevin Byard. There's something going on with him. Jalen Mills, posting he wants to come back. And it's like, look, man, I want Garnder-Johnson back, and I think the Eagles want him back too. So that's what we're going to focus on, and hopefully we get the job done. Go ahead, Howie. Let's go. My man, Anthony, hope you're doing well. Let's go, Birds. Hope you're having a good Friday. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, and of course to you too, Liz. Appreciate you taking the time. A great question from you, a chance to explain something that, definitely a big question. I think that could have been answered, and I tried throughout those couple weeks. What was it? March 7th, I believe, is the final day that you can franchise tag someone. So try to get everyone prepared for that because you remember the talk at that time. So you know what I'm talking about. You guys were like, what do you do? So good question. We'll answer that, but I hope you're doing well. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in here. Look, we're going to rock and roll. So I know that there's fear here and everybody's losing their minds, but my thought process is, and I'm not going to change this, is that Garnder-Johnson will sign with the Eagles. He's just sitting there asking for more money than I think he has earned. And not earned because, look, he balled out. But if he's looking for like the $15, $18 million range, I think maybe if it's 16 is probably the problem. If the Eagles probably want to give him 13 and a half, that's a safety. That's a lot. So, but he's asking for top dollar. And if you would give him 15, that would put him at like 6th or 7th. In average salaries for safeties. So for me, man, it's going to be tough to, bargain what's going on. And, he plays some corner too, so he could throw that in there with his negotiations, well, his agent. So a lot going on. And we talked about that. The Eagles needed to clear up money regardless. They need to decide where they want to spend their money, how much money they're willing to spend on a safety. So look, but we talked about it earlier today during that video. There are things. Jesse Bates, he's getting paid $16 million per year. So that puts him at 4th right now, I believe. So, yeah, because it's like Fitzpatrick, Adams. Yeah, he's 4th. So regardless, I think that, you're going to find a way to get him to sign. And you see all these other teams signing people. You see the Bengals got a safety. They lost both their guys, but, they got one. Maybe they're still trying to get CJ, but that's a great sign. So, we're staying patient. You guys saw my post earlier about that. Come on home, CJ, as soon as Nick Scott signed with the Bengals. But I'm excited about, how he's doing this all season. And I think, people are just impatient. They want everything done day one, and I get it. But he hasn't signed anywhere else. So, and then you have people that just create narratives. Well, he's going to retire. Well, he's not retired. It's like, oh God. But look, man, he's going to sign when the time is right. So let's effing go. But let me get back over to this chat. Bengals just signed a safety. You think they are still? Yeah, I was just mentioning him, Nick Scott there. He went to the Bengals, but they still have an open spot. They're going to want another safety. I know they're interested. Denver's interested, but we're interested. And maybe just nobody's giving him the money he's asking for. So that's his issue here. So maybe that's telling to him that maybe, I don't know. Well, take a little bit lower to come back to a Super Bowl winning team. I don't know. I would do it if I were he. But how do I feel about Bills? I was just mentioning that. No thanks. But I think, CJ obviously is who we want. But if he's not there, maybe you bring in Jalen just, for some competition and, as a versatile defensive back. That's nice that he's versatile like that and to have a veteran in the room. I wouldn't be down with that. But I still think you have to go in the draft and get a safety. So I'm not against it. But I don't want to see Jalen Mills starting, week 1. That's my problem there. But as a depth piece, my issue is, he thinks he's a starter. They're going to say he's a starter, and I'm just not going to think he's a starter. And look, I love Jalen Mills, man, the Green Goblin. But yeah, you know what? Bring him back, but let him be a depth piece, man, as long as you go draft somebody. But look, there are some free agents out there. We talked about them, and I'll have a show again tomorrow with all of the available guys. But just want CJ home. So come on, baby. I just made a little post earlier, like a few minutes before I went on, but it was the guys and girls, girl from Always Sunny, and then just, being trashed in the bar dancing. And I said, Eagles fans, after Howie Roseman signed CJ Garnder-Johnson at, what was it, like 1:37 a.m. I just picked some random time, but that's how he rolls. So I'm staying patient, man. Teams probably don't want to pay him closer to nickel corner. Well, you talk about how he can play, corner and safety. I think the problem is he's telling the Eagles that, like, look, I'm a versatile defensive back, and you're not just going to pay me as a nickel corner or just a safety. You're going to have to take into account that I can play 2 positions, and you're going to have to take into account that I was one of the best at safety. So whatever you want to pay, you got to look in that range. And looking at that money, it's like, well, I think this dude, he balls out, but he might just be asking for a little bit too much here. So, and that's what it is. But we're opening up money. We'll be just fine. Broncos have Justin Simmons. They have paid pretty big money. Well, look, they're interested, and I don't blame them. But I still think the Eagles will be the top contender. He just has to agree to whatever terms it is. Teams maybe see him that way. Come Eagles full-time safety. Well, look, I think for me, he knows how good he played in just 12 games. He led the league in interceptions. He was tied, even though he missed 5 games. That's pretty good. So he believes in himself, man. And I think that, another year in this system under Desai, I think he's going to get even better because it's almost the same principles, a lot of different stuff. But I think it's something like that where a versatile defensive back like him, he will shine. So I think we should give him the money because I think he'll be a stud in this defense. So we all have to just come to terms here and be friends, and let's make a deal, please, for the love of God, please. And I'm with you. If it's backup, that's fine. But I love Green Goblin. I was a big fan of his. But I'm just saying, you need to upgrade that position. If you're losing CJ, you already lost Epps. Like, I'm not riding with Reed Blankenship and Kayvon Wallace. Look, they both looked good last year, and at the end of the year, they look like they both could help out if needed. But yeah, you got to upgrade there, bring CJ back, and then draft someone. That is my thought process here. And please, for the love of God, in tomorrow's show, we're going to talk about all the available guys at safety and corner and defensive line and the edge rushers, interior D-line, the linebackers, all of it. So you'll get to see what I think the Eagles should do, because obviously we have a bunch of holes on this defense. But I want to start this bad boy out while Liz is still rocking with us. I know you guys probably have stuff to do, some of you, but look, we got the Fan Friday questions in the house. So let's answer these bad boys before we get carried away here. So Liz, great question here. When a player gets franchise tagged, what does that mean? And I think a lot of people in the media should have asked that question, because you guys remember just a couple weeks ago, it was, the Eagles are so stupid. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. Didn't franchise tag CJ Garnder-Johnson. How dumb they are. Now they don't have him. And it's like, let's pump the brakes there. The most important thing you need to know about what franchise tagging means is that as a fan, only thing we worry about and need to worry about is the cap, right? We're looking at that salary cap. So the cap is guaranteed, whatever that huge amount, which I'm going to explain in a second is. That's why I was so no when it came to franchise tagging anyone, because we want to make a long-term deal where you can spread it out, prorate that money with those dummy years, and that allows for a small cap hit this year. That's how you fit in all those good players. So we want to run it back, win the Super Bowl. You want to give him, a multi-year deal. You don't want to just franchise tag him. So franchise tags. There are 2 of these franchise tags, exclusive and non-exclusive. There is a transition tag as well. But let me try to explain this for you. I'm going to try to simplify it as best I can. So when you have an exclusive franchise tag, that means that the team is giving you a 1-year deal, this player. Okay, so say it's Lamar Jackson, whatever, quarterback. So you give him 1-year deal, but it is the average of the top 5 salaries, top 5 quarterbacks at that position. So whatever position it is, it's the top 5 at that position. The average of that in April of this year. So whatever that number may be, that's what you're going to have to pay them. And that's going to be your entire salary cap hit. No, that's insane. Like, no. And especially with safety, if you would have did that to CJ Garnder-Johnson, that would be like 15, 16 in cap, not just paying him that. And all we need to worry about is cap. So not good. But when you have that exclusive tag, they give them that. But now this player cannot talk to other teams. It's an exclusive deal with them, the team, the agent, the player. That's it. They're working together to figure it out. And if he doesn't sign that deal, then he will not play. They can sit out, but they can't sign with another team. They can't do anything. So that's the exclusive one, right? So I explained it there, the top 5 salaries. Or if it's not the top 5 salaries, it's 120% of their last year's salary, whichever one is higher. So keep that in mind too. Just want to make sure I'm telling you everything. But so that's the exclusive one. And then the non-exclusive is where you tag them and it's a 1-year deal, but it's the top 5 salary cap hits. So not top 5 salaries, it's the cap hits. So there is a difference there that takes in all the bonuses, everything, all that stuff. So so that top 5 there, or 120% of last year's salary, whichever one is higher. So you have that as the non-exclusive, but this one you can actually, that allows them other teams to offer them something like Lamar Jackson right now. So you have that, and whatever they offer them, the Ravens could match that. So they give him 5 years, $500 million, obviously not, but they could match that, or they let him walk. So that team gets to sign him, but the team doesn't just get to sign him. They got to give 2 first-round picks to that team as well. So, you better really want him. You better come up with a good damn deal. But that's a great question there. And then that transition tag, that's just one where it's like the top 10 salaries, and that's the average there. But then there's no, like what I just said about, 2 first-round picks. There's nothing. If a player signs, they can talk to other teams. And if they do sign somewhere else, that team doesn't get anything back. So hopefully I simplified that as easy as I could. High Plains Drifter, absolutely no sleep this damn past week. But it's a great question, Liz, and one I'm happy to answer. And hopefully I answered it well for you. But if you guys did not understand anything or want me to try to further explain something, please feel free to ask me. I know that in my brain it sounded like I was saying it right, but definitely I'm a High Plains Drifter. So look, great question though, Liz. And that is why I was a no-go for no. I did not want to franchise tag anybody. Hargrave, Bradbury, nope. So it was a good thing that we didn't franchise tag anyone, and we haven't done it in 11 years. So, I mean, yeah, you don't want to do that, right? And it kind of pisses the players off too, because they want a deal, right? And now you're just tagging them and like, oh, you got to be here. And then they might hurt themselves and not get a long-term deal. So I just don't like them. And it shows. Not doing it for 11 years. We don't roll with that. My man, what's going on, bro? Wanted to post, and I literally got crazy busy. I have your damn name up on my messenger. I was messaging you and I never finished it, but it was like, yo, what's up, man? I know it's St. Patrick's Day. Of course, I had to write an effing novel, but got sidetracked eating and I'd never finished writing to you, but I was asking you if you had any questions because I was about to roll. I was getting all those graphics set up, but dude, I'm sorry, dude. It has been a very rough. Well, I mean, just year even doing this. There's been no break here. So, but this past week's been nuts. And you saw last night, nuts. And as I said, making that joke, how he's going to sign somebody at like 1:30. And you guys got to tell me, man, if something's going on here and something happens while I'm here talking to you guys, you got to let me know because I'm trying. I'm going to look here real quick. But yeah, dude, I'd love for Howie to sign at like 1:30 in the morning. Just imagine how nuts the city would go on St. Patrick's Day if we were to sign. And how about Farley Dickinson beating Purdue? That was pretty funny. I just saw that. It reminded me. But hope you're doing well, dude. Hope you're having a great St. Patty's Day with the family, friends, whatever you're doing. Hope you're all staying safe out there. But appreciate you taking the time, my man. And look, you're always on it. You've got multiple questions all the time. So it's all right. You don't have a week where you get a question in the mailbag, but I appreciate you, dude. And you're always here, man. So thank you for that. And I hope you're doing well. And Mills is burnt toast. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's a backup safety, all right, like a veteran presence, sure. I'll okay. But as I said, you better effing draft somebody. And there are some other options. If you want to see that free agency show, I already talked about them. There's by position you can look up. But tomorrow I'll be dropping, probably in the daytime, actually. I'm going to be dropping the video. I don't think I'll be able to do it live, but I'm going to try to do it quick where you just see all of the free agents. And then I give you my top prospects that the Eagles should be looking at. So let's go. I'm pumped. And Jalen Mills is not one of the top guys. So I'm with you. But I love the dude. Won a Super Bowl with him. But, it's just, you got to get better there and younger. So, and not necessarily younger. You can get some veteran guys. I just, his versatility might help, whatever. I understand that. Thank you. And again, like I said, I know in my head it sounded like I was explaining, but if I'm not, but those are the most important things: the non-exclusive and exclusive. The exclusive one means exclusive, right? So you're just talking with that team, and that's the one where they're pretty much working with them, or they're screwed, like Jesse Bates had last year. Or you got Lamar right now, where it's non-exclusive, where he can talk to other teams, but they'd have to pay him and give up 2 first-round picks. So I guess that makes it pretty simple, but had to get it all jumbled and right. But look, if I would have had more time, I would have just made that into a graphic so you could have read it. But dude, I'm a drifter. I have a draft message to you as well. That's hilarious, and I always end up doing stuff like that all the time because I'm somebody that I try not to be short with people. But then, like, sometimes I have to because I want people to know, like, hey, like, I'll try to talk. But then it's like, oh, I hope they don't think. So then I write a novel and then I don't finish. You know how I roll, dude. And all these Fan Fridays are always very telling as to how much a drifter I truly am. So we'll keep it rolling with this next question by Tim the Man. I haven't seen him in here yet, but I know you'll be tuning in at some point. I know you're a busy man, but whenever you do tune in, big shout out to you, Tim. And we got a good question here, so let's jump right into it with the Fan Friday Q&A with some aging players at offensive and defensive line. Which one is more important to focus on in the draft? So this is one that you guys can answer, give your opinion on too. But I'm going to answer it here. And for me, this is going to come down to what the hell's going on with CJ, because I think that's going to depend on if we are going to give Sayamalu what he wants. So if you lose Sayamalu, now I've already said you got to go in this draft regardless. And I think fill out this line. And, you don't know how much longer Lane will be around. And I just, the right guard position. So I like Jack Driscoll. I like pieces we have, but I'm just saying, the Eagles are going to look in the trenches. So it's a great question by Tim. Tim knows it. The Eagles are always looking in the trenches. So for me, the offense definitely most important, because the defense, you saw the last couple of years, we've taken both. You got Dickerson and Juergens on the offense. You've got Jordan Davis, Milton Williams. So, but for me, how I feel right now, when I look at this roster, I'm okay. I'm happy Fletcher Cox is back. Hopefully he's more of the rotational piece. And it's Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, Marlon Tuipulotu looked really good before he got hurt. So you got some interior guys. And, even Noah Ellis, Marvin Wilson will be competing this summer. And you've got some edge rushers that I'm stoked. The one side is Sweat, Graham, and then Barnett. And then you've got Reddick, Johnson, and Johnson. But you've also got Teron Jackson, Matt Leo trying out, Janarius Robinson here. So you've got a stacked defensive line. I feel pretty happy about where we're going. But again, I think you have to add an edge rusher. You could add an interior defensive lineman at 10. You could a lot of options there, man. So it's hard for me who's going to be available, because you can't go into this draft and say this position is the most. They don't do that. The Eagles don't do that. And if you're trying to figure out what they're doing, I never, ever look at it like that. It's always just, so it has to be a crapshoot, right? So I just crapshoot, and I don't know how the hell I do it each year, but we're just going to, break it all down each position. And then you kind of just like, okay, and you get a better feel once I break it down, as much as I do the last few years. So at least that's how I feel. I'm saying not you, you don't have to feel that way, but I think, I'm going to try to pinpoint it again this year, but we're definitely looking in the trenches. Always. I'm always keeping my eye on the trenches, man. And look, I think, calling, Dillard, calling Davis, they were obvious. And, needing a left tackle, needing a nose tackle to fit what Gannon was trying to do. So I think, it's going to be a lot harder this year, because there are a lot of pieces that we need, right? And there's a lot of talent. We've got lots of picks. The Eagles could trade out of 10. Go back to 12, but acquire another 3rd round pick, a second, whatever. You know what I mean? Or you could literally move in to the top 8. It's so many scenarios have run through my mind, because Howie Roseman's a madman. And one of the things I've talked about is moving out of 30. Somebody really likes someone in the end of the first round, you trade that mother, because then you're not paying someone first round money. But, that gives them their 5th-year option when you're a first round pick. But I think the money is always part of this. So say you trade from 30 to 38, you're now in the second round money, baby. And sorry, and I'm not trying to say I want these kids to get paid less. It's just always thinking about the money for the Eagles. And I know Howie's doing the same. So maybe you trade back to 38, but you acquire some more picks, because we talk about it. We got 4 picks in the top 100, but you've only got 6 picks, because after that, you've got like the 7-round picks, 6th and 7th, whatever. So I think it's actually 2 7s, isn't it? Or something horrible. But it's not, because I'm just thinking in draft way, I'm going to be sitting there like, but I'm going to have to, because I know Howie's always sitting there like, what can I do here? And we've got an additional 2nd next year. We've got an additional 7th the year after that from the Saints, both of those from the Saints. So you've got 8 picks in the next 2 drafts. You've got ammo, and Howie's a madman, dude. So, but to answer your question, offensive line is probably my thought process that is more important if Sayamalu doesn't come back. But at the same time, there could be a stud at number 10. So, in my opinion, and looking at, offensive or defensive line, yeah, but that's not how it's going to go in the draft. If there is a stud on the defensive line there, an edge rusher, a Will Anderson, anybody you could move up, but whatever, talk about Carter, all these things that could happen, they get me excited. But the Eagles could walk away pretty happy regardless. And I think we will, man. They've been drafting well. Howie's been listening to the scouts. So for me, I'm walking into this. I'm just like I walked into free agency. I'm happy. I'm patient. I'm confident. And I think this team's going to go. They've been slowly roasting these people, and watch what Howie does to CJ Garnder-Johnson. He'll resign, 1:37 a.m., baby. I'll be waiting. But no, like I think this weekend, hopefully we can get it done. And we've talked about trying to free up some money with Lane. And I think there are other options. We'll talk about that too. And there's so much stuff you can do here, man. And it's just the beginning, right? The off season's always funny to me, because everybody's losing their mind. It's like, bro, we got a long ride, and you're already asking to stop the piss. Like, oh my God, we're going to be here for a while. So, but dude, I know you guys are with me. Howie's going to smoke it, and then we're going to go smoke the draft. So let's go. Nina in the building. Let's go. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. Hope you and the family are doing well. I am so beat. I have literally had absolutely no sleep this week, and I love every second of it, because I love talking birds with you guys, and I love making these shows and trying to spend as much time as I can with my family then after. And it's like, I'm trying to stay up till, the sun's effing coming out. I feel like, Vampire Bill here, but interior offensive line is how I feel. But again, you'll see who's available, and then we'll go from there. But we definitely will need to if Sayamalu was gone. What show do we have Matt Lee? Well, he's that international player program guy, and you got to give these guys a chance to really get up to speed. And I think he has gotten better. And last year he actually looked pretty decent. So we'll see him competing with Janarius Robinson and those guys at the back end, Teron Jackson. So best of luck to him. Ignorant to Greedy Williams. I'm mostly seeing him on the outside. Trace, you look at it, believe someone better than the slot. What do you mean? I mostly seen him on the outside. What traits do you look at to believe someone is better in the slot? Oh, you're saying, well, so I was kind of taken off because you're talking about how people are saying he's taken over the nickel cornerback spot. Yeah, that's not happening. I was talking about that last night. Greedy Williams is an outside corner, and he's damn good at it. He's 6'2". And I talked about maybe you dabble with him. Maybe you try him because Sean Desai is a wild man. Maybe you have him at free safety here and there. But what I talked about was the fact that, maybe with these bigger slot wide receivers, sometimes maybe you want to use him as like a dime package, so I could see that scenario. But I also talked about what if you use him on the outside, where Sean Desai, I feel, is going to use more shadow coverage. So when you're playing the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, a lot of time in the slot, you have Darius Slay moving in the slot, and then Greedy Williams can be that outside guy. So I think just having that versatility, that depth. So it really, I can't, it's just like with a slot receiver. I don't think you can sit here and pinpoint what you should be looking for, because I think we have it. We talk about versatility. That's what we want, right? You already got your top dogs. We know that, man. Slay and Bradbury, those are outside corners, man. CB 1 and 2. And however you want to order them, I don't care. But Avonte Maddox, he is a stud at nickel corner. And with his size, his speed, I think he's perfect because he's a little hunter, man. He can get after you. He can sack because you want nickel to be able to do different things and you can disguise your defense. And I think, Avante, he has the ability to dabble with free safety. I don't think he's starting free safety material. I know a lot of people are saying slide him back there, but then again, it's like, I've seen nickel corners that were bigger, so really it's about skill set and being able to stay with guys. And I think, his man skills are pretty good. And I like him in zone too. So I think Devontae Maddox is one of the best nickel corners in this game. So I don't know where the talk is that he should lose his job to anybody because, I know he was banged up, but I think they know that he was banged up. So you got to try some things out. And I'm sure Greedy will get his chance to move all over the place, outside, inside, maybe dabble at safety, like I said, because you guys had those questions yesterday. And why not? I think Sean Desai is a smart guy, and this is a league that is changing, and having, an ability to have these guys with that versatility, those disguises on defense, that is huge, man. And in today's game, you're going up against guys like the Chiefs. You see what they do to you with the direction and all that stuff, man, and the motion, all that great stuff. So I think having that on defense, you need to have more of that. And I think having someone like Greedy Williams adds to that. And I don't think he's winning any starting job off the bat, but the dude's got starting material, man. He was a second round pick for a reason. First round grade on him. I think the kid is obviously he's a ball hawk. And, I just think he could, like we talked about, he could get stronger. And that's where I'm like, safety, maybe some free safety, but he's just, look, he needs to work on some things, and he was banged up, but his first year he looked great, and then he was like out the next year, and then he was back, and last year he only played special teams, so really didn't get to see too much. So if you're looking at his stats or anything, you'll be like, what the hell? But I think, in this defense, I'm excited to see what he can do, and hopefully he gets a chance to get some snaps on defense, man. Offenses move players around so much. Slot for me needs to be a strong tackler. Yeah, exactly. So just like I was saying with Maddox, and yeah, exactly, stopping the run. Every damn person on the team needs to be able to stop the run. You know how I feel about that, how pissed off I was at the beginning of the season last year. You know how adamant I am about, I don't know, the basics of football, wrapping people up. I don't, that's a sore subject for me, my man. But yes, you better be able to support the run. But the Eagles, they like adding guys that don't really support the run, and I don't think that's Greedy Williams' game. So, yeah, that annoys me. I think of all people, Maddox is actually one of our corners that goes and gets it. Now, Bradbury can and Slay can, but there are also times where it's like, but they are corners, and it is what it is. But I love those guys. I think they're not as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. But, that's what we talk about, having versatility, because in today's league, man, you're moving receivers all over the place. So I can't just sit here and say this nickel needs to be like this, because you got guys in the slot who are monsters now. You've got still your Scotty Miller, little tiny fellas. I mean, it's a changing league, man. You guys have guys that can just be versatile. And that literally has been the name of the game that we've talked about the last few years here. When we're looking at draft picks, when we're looking at free agents, we're always looking at those guys that, this guy could help out here too. So, and boom, they get them because, well, that's why. So, hey, all about it, but great question and great insight there, Drew. That's right. You did say that. I've been watching so many. Hey, man, I don't even know what life is half the time. I don't even remember really making that Marcus Mariota video. I was literally already on fumes, and I just got so excited and just like a drunk Terry out here. I don't know, man, but I love it. I love it. But look, I think for me, this team is built how it's supposed to be, and decides the perfect guy to come in on this defense. And we're going to have new pieces. We're going to have things that you get better, because that defense was awesome, breaking sack records. Obviously, there were times where there needed to be adjustments and things that we're all pissed about, but it's like, dude, Sean Desai, he's a genius, first off, and let's see if he's a genius in football. And I think, showing with the Bears like that one year, he did pretty well with the Bears, and he really got some of those guys, and a lot of guys were hurt, Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, and he still was able to ball out there. So I think I'm excited, man. I'm really excited about this team, and I can't wait. No, I would not do that. But Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Porter, I think you still have to be looking at corners. Greedy Williams, we'll see how he pans out, but I don't think you can just go into the hope there, because you need someone to take over for Slay and Bradbury eventually. So I would still be looking at corner, and if one of those top guys is there, I wouldn't be surprised if they finally grab one. Thoughts on any of the guys in the practice squad playing wide receiver 3? No, I would not have any of those practice squad guys playing wide receiver 3. But I would like to see them compete. You got Covey and Tyree Cleveland and Greg Ward who can try to compete for the return game, but you need to add to that effing room, and you need to add to it ASAP. So go get me a return guy. I would be thrilled there, and get me somebody that can play wide receiver 3 because, no offense to any of those guys we have, but they're just not there in any way, shape, or form yet. So look, we've got some promising guys in Britton Covey, Devin Allen there. He hasn't played in forever, but he looked good last year. Keep building him, getting him up to the NFL speed and size, and you never know what you could find there, diamond in the rough. But we'll find out, ladies and gentlemen. Quez does need to ball out. And the thing, we talk about is you can save money by cutting Quez, but you could also keep him around and see how he's developed. But he regressed last year. Some really tough plays, but I'm a fan of Quez. I do like him, but it was unfortunate to see that last year. But hey, if they do move on, you'll save money. And I think, you try to get younger there, go get a stud. I'd be all about it, man. And there are a lot of names we're going to be talking. You guys know my obsession with wide receivers. So I can't wait for the draft talk, and it's coming sooner than you know it. So I appreciate each and every one of you, but it is 10 o'clock now, and that means I got to get rolling out of here. But I appreciate you tuning in this beautiful Fan Friday. It is complete hell out there, and I am dying in here. So I'm going to try to get some effing sleep for once in my life. But tomorrow I'm going to come back, and I'm going to have the top. Well, not the top. I'll have all of the free agents on defense, but I'll have my top 10 free agent targets on defense for the Eagles. So, I mean, every single free agent, and I will show you my favorites, and then you can tell me your favorites, but you will see all the positions when they tell you no one's left. I will show you how many effing people are left, because trust me, it takes me hours to put all these damn things together, and it's like, oh my God, how many free agents are there? But I love every second of it. So as long as you guys enjoy that content, that's all that matters. But before I get out of here, I hated it too, man, because I'm a fan of Quez, but it is what it is. Hopefully if he gets a chance, he steps it up, right? But let me show you this just in case you guys missed it, but you can always go check out the older videos. But here's what's been going on so far. Here are the players that have been added or retained. You see Kelsey, Scott, Toth, Bradbury, Cox, and Graham are back. We added Mariota, Penny, and Greedy. Love it. Let's go. That's a lot of people, to be honest with you. The first 2 days of free agency, clearly, 3 on this day, but we haven't signed anybody. But, I'm excited about it. And I think, Howie got the pieces we needed. You see the guys we lost. You saw social media, all the other fans of other teams. Oh, yeah, you lost everyone. I mean, who here surprises you? Sure. Does it suck watching Miles Sanders go? You're damn right it does. Sucks losing both your linebackers. It sucks losing Hargrave and Epps, but you didn't draft Davis and Dean and all these guys for no reason. So they're going to step it up. I'm excited about it. And again, we had 20 effing free agents. So we're going to lose them. And you see here, we've still got a bunch that still haven't signed anywhere. So I'm hopeful that Sayamalo could come back, but I think it's going to depend on CJ. And obviously that's the one we all want the most. Talked about Quinn maybe coming back because of his familiarity with Desai. But hey, man, beyond that, not so sure. Obviously, Tyree Jackson, we talk about that exclusive rights contract. That doesn't cost you crap. So tender him, bring him in, let him compete. And if he sucks, you cut him. But I think he could come back. But look, you're going to get compensatory picks for those players you lost. Right now, where we sit, looks like we're going to get a 3rd and 3 6th-round picks next year added. So, damn, that's going to make it 12 picks we have total. And, yeah, a 1st, 2 seconds, 2 3rds, a 4th, a 5th, and, 4 6th, and then a 7th. Oh, Howie's going to be working some magic. So let them keep sleeping, hating, whatever they're doing out there. Who cares? They don't know what they're talking about, because this Eagles team is building something special for years to come, and we've been talking about it, but let them keep talking about it. But I hope you're all having a great Friday night. Hope you're having a happy St. Patty's Day. Stay safe out there, whatever you're doing. Make sure you call somebody if you need. Don't be wilding out there, drinking and driving. Not here to preach, but be safe, please. I love you all. Don't want to see anything bad happen. I've unfortunately lost a few friends that way, and I just love you all, and I want to be here tomorrow talking some Eagles defense with you. So have yourselves a great night. Party it up. Keep it green. Let's go, baby. Yo, you have a great night. Stay safe. Reach out, man, if you need. And look, I will be breaking that defense down tomorrow. So I hope to see you then. We'll keep this train rolling. I'm telling you, this offseason, I will not be going anywhere. So let's go. But have yourselves a great night. We've got Tuesday, my man. I apologize, dude. I had to try to keep this a half hour tonight. I got to get rolling out here, but appreciate you tuning in, dude. I will be back tomorrow afternoon, and I'm going to drop that defensive video. We're going to talk about all the people that are left, who the Eagles should be looking at. Clearly, there are some holes, but we'll talk about who needs to be added in free agency, the draft, whatever it may be. But have yourselves a great night. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you got anything from this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. You can always subscribe to the channel. But I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You stay safe out there. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And as always, say it with me now, Go Birds!